Well, Karnataka, Pooja, is certainly very anxiously waiting for the High Court's verdict. We know that the schools and colleges, both of them so far have been shut. On Monday, the Karnataka Court's hearing should happen. A verdict may not be out. It might prolong for a few days. But in the meanwhile, schools have decided to open up as per the government order. But colleges will still remain shut only to ensure that the situation is under control until this order or a verdict is out by the Karnataka High Court. Now, we're looking at prohibitory orders, even in Udupi, that has been extended. Earlier, it was limited to Bengaluru city alone. Now, Section 144 has been imposed all across high schools in Karnataka's Udupi district. Now, high schools open up tomorrow, like I did mention. Colleges still remain shut, but high schools open up. The order will come into effect on 14th of February and remain enforced until the 19th of Feb. Now, this means that all gatherings, any kind of agitation, are all banned in that area around all high schools in Udupi district, which will open up tomorrow. Now, Section 144 has been imposed after Superintendent of Police made a request to the Deputy Commissioner on Udupi, Kurma Rao. He requested that prohibitory orders will be enforced in 200-meter radius all around high schools in the district. The police took out a march in Tumkur as well. In Tumkur and Bidar district of Karnataka, in a bid to maintain law and order, we saw the police taking out a march, a peace march ahead of the schools reopening tomorrow on the Feb 14th. Meanwhile, Karnataka Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai has said that the government's top priority was to normalize the situation and to try and get back to normal order, to try and get schools back to open in peace and harmony. Chief Minister Bommai has also announced that schools will reopen from tomorrow, but colleges, like I did mention, will remain shut for a little longer.
ಮತ್ತು ಅವ್ರದೇ ಆದಂಥ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಕಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನನ್ನ ಮುಂದೆ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಈಗ ಪ್ರಥಮ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಶಾಲಾ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳನ್ನು ಮೊದಲಿದ್ದ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ಸೌಹಾರ್ದತೆಯ ಭಾವನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾಂತಿಯುತವಾಗಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಜನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಅಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ವರದಿ ಕೊಡಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಸಭೆ ಮಾಡಿ ತೀರ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ.
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to Nolan Pinto joining us. He's been tracking all the developments here on the hijab controversy. Nolan, Section 144 was imposed in Bengaluru all this while, and it seems like now they've extended it to Udupi, which is the ground zero of where this controversy broke out. While schools open up in Bengaluru, Udupi, across Karnataka, colleges still will remain shut. It's going to be a wait and watch situation tomorrow as the High Court's higher bench takes up this matter, will deliberate, but a verdict may not be likely out tomorrow, is it?
Well, Nabila, in Bengaluru city, in fact, Police Commissioner Kamal Pant had invoked Section 144 subsection 1, that is 200 meters around in educational institutions. So basically you can't protest over there, you can't assemble in large numbers. This is because the government had decided that from Monday onwards, classes 1 to 10 will be reopened, and that is the reason why even in Udupi now, because Udupi was the hub of all these activities, the protests, they did not want to take any chances. The government's main aim as of now is that students have already missed a lot of their classes because of COVID for the past 2 years. They need to get back to studies. 10th standard exams also are around the corner, and that's the reason why prohibitory orders 200 meters around these institutions, so you cannot go and assemble over there, you can't go in large numbers, which means you cannot protest. So only the students who have to enter, students can come there and finish your classes and then head back home. Now furthermore, the police have also conducted route marches in various districts of Karnataka. In fact, a few days ago when the Chief Minister had a meeting with the Education Minister and the Home Minister, certain directions were given. In fact, he spoke through video conference with the DCs and SPs of all the districts, and especially those in sensitive areas. He's asked and instructed the DCs and SPs to personally look into these issues. He said that even if it's a small issue, to be treated as a major issue and solved immediately. The main aim as of now for the government is that students should head back to school, that is first to 10th, and go home safe. Parents to focus on on making sure that their students, basically their ward study, and degree colleges, pre-university colleges as of now will not be open till Wednesday.
Right. We heard you, Nolan. It appears the Karnataka government is keeping a close watch on the situation across the state. This is going to set precedents. The Karnataka High Court hearing this matter will set precedents. It will be a palette for courts in the future to take up a case that would be related to wearing religious symbols inside classrooms at educational institutions, which has been debated for a while now. It's always been a divided house on the issue. Today I have with me Aga Sultan, who's an educationist himself, a social activist. He's been, in fact, a former member, syndicate and academic council of Bengaluru University. He's also been with the Vishwesvaraya Technology University. Aga, thank you very much for joining us here on India Today. You've been with reputed institutions. You've also been with Bengaluru University. A time like this when the Karnataka government has decided that uniformity is must inside government educational institutions and you can't debate that. How would you look at it for having an education history yourself?
Thank you very much for getting me here. First of all, I would like to say I'm very much pained that the student community is being involved in this. The students are the future leaders of our great Hindustan. Our country is of diverse culture and hundreds and thousands of religions and castes. Now coming to uniformity, yes, there should be a uniform, no doubt about it. We are all for the uniform, but when it comes to a religious practice which is enshrined in the constitution, what is a hijab? Hijab is just a cloth to cover your head, a scarf to cover your head. Now, what is wrong with this? Since 75 years almost of independence, nobody has raised this voice. Why now? Now, when you do this, we have in North India the women.
Right, Mr.
covering
Aga,
their head
I'd like
with
to
the
ask
collar.
you here a quick take on history, since you have been. Mr. Aga, since you have been the Academic Council of Bangalore University, which comes under the state government of Karnataka, you've been the Academic Council for 6 years. What was the practice and pattern in Karnataka in the past? I'd like you to give us an insight as to how students who practice the religion came to class. Were they wearing the hijab? Was this a practice followed in Karnataka in the past, or it was at the discretion of individual institutions? In Bangalore University, what was the situation?
I've been in the Bangalore University Syndicate for 6 years, VTU for 6 years, and also in the AICT Southern Western Committee. But nowhere this was discussed. Each religion, each girl or a boy, especially for a girl, she could wear a hijab, she could put a bindi, and even our brothers from the Sikh community could come with a turban, and even our Christian brothers and sisters would come with a cross. What is wrong? And we also used to celebrate Ganesha Habba. We also used to celebrate Christmas. We also used to celebrate Eid. We also used to celebrate Guru Nanak's birthday. Everything used to happen. Why all this suddenly now after almost 75 years
celebrations of celebrating festivities is a whole different topic of discussion. We're talking of uniformity inside classrooms. The government believes that while a child is growing up over the years, they've got to learn what inclusivity and equality really means. Equality rather. Uniformity itself is so integral in a child's development, and if a girl comes with a hijab, then that's just already separating her from the rest of the lot. That's the belief.
See, we believe that India is a country of diverse cultures. Now, how can you stop? Now, if you want to remove religious belief from all institutions, then, there'll be a chaos all around. Why do you want to involve the student community? Let them come with what they want. There's nothing wrong in it. Absolutely doesn't. And nobody is after these girls, you should wear a hijab. Nobody is forcing them. It is a practice, religious practice. So I think now the matter is in the court of law.
No, but that you say nobody is forcing them, Mr. Aga Sultan. We do know of instances where girls have been forced to wear the hijab. We know of instances of that nature too, where girls have been forced to wear the hijab too. But again, like I said, that's again a different topic of debate altogether. But here I'd like to ask you, is wearing a hijab an essential practice in Islam? Is it mentioned in the Quran that you got to wear a hijab?
Yes.
Sorry, come again. Your voice is being distorted.
Is wearing, Mr. Sultan, can you hear me?
Yes. Well.
See, hijab
Can you hear me?
is an essential practice of Islam. It is mandatory on any woman to cover their hair and the body. And now there is a difference between hijab and niqab. Niqab covers the face. We are not talking of niqab. It is only hijab. Hijab is covering the hair with a scarf. So there's nothing wrong. I mean, it is a religious belief which is mandatory for all girls. Now, when you're talking of women empowerment, our Honorable Prime Minister says,
you have there are interpretations to what is said in the Quran, but Mr. Sultan, Aga Sultan, as far as we've read the Quran, there isn't a specific description that says cover the hair. It only says dress modestly. And over the years, people have interpreted it in such a way where they have covered their hair to call that as dressing modestly, but there is no detailed explanation that you've got to cover your hair in the Quran. It just only says dress modestly, and that can have several interpretations. There are Muslim women who practice Islam, don't wear the hijab because they feel that that is their interpretation.
It is interpreted in Islam, in Quran.
See, Quran is very clear about it. Quran is very clear, and it is Surah 33, Ayat 59 has ordered the Prophet that you have to cover your body with a cloak. It is there. And also Article 25 and 26 in the Constitution also gives us the freedom of practice of your religion. So when the two things are in conformity, what is wrong with it? In Quran, it is a religious belief. It is a must. It is a mandatory act of any woman to go with a hijab when she goes out. Since 75 years,
it certainly is an age-old practice, probably followed, not just 75 years. It's part of culture across the globe, and it's been practiced for over 10,000 years. But that is part of culture. Is this integral part of Islam? That's the point going to be debated at the High Court. But nonetheless, leaving that aside, a quick word from you, Mr. Sultan, on the politics behind it. We're looking at the PFI, we're looking at the Campus Front of India completely fronting this agitation, almost discrediting these girls. Even if they had a legit reason, it seems like now they're fully politically motivated.
Yes, it is a part of Islam, and it is interpreted in the Quran very clearly. There is no second thought about it. And we are very firm on this particular aspect. And please don't make this a political issue, and don't make it as a religious issue. It is mostly a cultural. It is our culture also here. Our Muslim culture is also there involved in it. And also the other Hindu women also cover their head with
to speak on the politics of it. To speak on the politics of it, a final question to you, Mr. Sultan. Here we're looking at several organizations like the PFI, who have been looked at as an extreme Islamic organization, a radical Islamic organization. They have really fronted this agitation entirely. Do you think this will really help the cause for these girls who are fighting?
See, I am not talking on behalf of any organization. I am just talking as an educationist, as a Muslim, as an Indian. I want India united. I want India to stand together. I want India to become a superpower. I appeal to everyone and all political parties. Don't bring politics into the student campuses. Students are the leaders of tomorrow. They are young. Don't poison them, please. Leave it at that. Now it is the matter of the court. Let the honorable judges decide, and we are sure they will come up with a good judgment wherein they will definitely uphold the Constitution. I am sure about it.
Right. Mr. Sultan, thank you very much. Really appreciating you taking time off and joining us. There you have it, one of the voices from Bengaluru, Karnataka. In fact, in Bengaluru city alone, a situation like this has hardly ever arisen. It seems like Udupi, Kundapur area, the situation that cropped up was a first of its kind for Karnataka, and it's going to be unprecedented undoubtedly for the courts now to deliberate on the matters of whether hijab is indeed an integral part of Islam or not. Several constitutional questions that will crop up in the process of it that the court will have to deliberate. A verdict may not come about tomorrow, but it's certainly a start to see what happens. On that note, thank you very much for watching.